Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, August 20th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Valone. Glad to have you join us tonight. Well, it's easy to miss, and residents say that's the problem. The right shoulder on northbound Route 193, just north of Lotsford Road in Mitchellville, has seen some erosion. Some drivers are calling it a sinkhole and say they're concerned that the problem is only getting worse.
It should have been repaired a long time ago.
Ed Ross says he's concerned because he has to drive past this on Route 193 every single day.
It's very dangerous. If somebody hits it, they may have a serious accident or go down that hill.
Several weeks ago, crews from the Maryland State Highway Administration filled the area with dirt alongside northbound Route 193, just north of Lotsford Road, not too far from the Newton White Mansion in Mitchellville. CTV photographer R. Laughlin shot this video below the road surface, and you can clearly see that parts of the asphalt are completely eroded.
When I come on this road sometimes, they're doing construction, and it is a bother that they haven't fixed the sinkhole yet.
Now, as you drive up and down Enterprise Road, you'll notice that there are not very many street lights, and that's what makes it so dangerous at night because residents can't clearly see that the sinkhole is here. This part of Route 193 has seen a rise in traffic as newer homes are built and commuters look for a cut-through route to get to the Beltway.
There's a lot of traffic coming on this road, so that'd just be really a huge problem.
We reached out to the State Highway Administration, and a representative tells us that what you see is not a sinkhole, telling us, quote, the machine we use to make the repairs, known as a gradle, was in use in other areas and will be used to make the permanent repairs under the right shoulder. And they go on to say that crews have kept a frequent eye on the shoulder, and this was never an emergency issue. Some residents we spoke to say that the problem has been there for months, and it doesn't matter what you call it, they just want the issue resolved.
Because anything could happen.
In Mitchellville, Sonia Shrivastava for CTV News.
And again, SHA says crews will begin making permanent repairs in the next few weeks. Officials also emphasize that it is not a safety issue.
And 4 firefighters injured this morning while fighting a fire at an apartment building in Laurel. Officials say it started on the 3rd floor of the Villages at Montpelier complex on South Laurel Drive. CTV spoke to a resident who says his wife called to tell him that she saw flames coming out of the neighbor's apartment.
She was hysterical, crying on the phone, very hysterical, telling me that the apartment was on fire. So I just rushed from work and came as soon as I could.
All of the occupants of the building were able to escape safely prior to our arrival. And it took us about 15 to 20 minutes to knock this fire down, which pretty much stayed in the apartment of origin with some extension upwards up into the attic.
I think it's just negligence on my neighbor's behalf. The fire was right next to my apartment on the 3rd floor. And I just think it's negligence. They probably left either a candle or a cigarette lit. And that's probably what caused the whole thing.
And Brady says one firefighter sustained injuries on his hands and arms and face and was taken to a hospital. The Red Cross assisting about 30 residents who are displaced. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. And authorities say a working smoke alarm that saved the lives of residents after a fire tears through their home. It occurred last night on the home on the 10,900 block of Lake Arbor Way in Lake Arbor. Fire officials say that something in the 2nd floor kitchen sparked the flames. Nobody injured. The firefighters were able to rescue a family dog. Now, authorities are still investigating the exact cause of that fire as well.
The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood advisory for the Washington metropolitan region. Widespread heavy rain and thunderstorms are expected to pass through areas including Prince George's, parts of Montgomery and Anne Arundel counties, and the district. The flood watch runs from 4 p.m. tonight through 12 a.m. on Friday. 1 to 3 inches of rain could fall in a short period of time and lead to flash flooding.
And the district man accused of fatally shooting an Oxon Hill hotel worker 2 years ago is found guilty in all counts. And the jury found DeAndre Weems guilty of assault and murder in the death of Clarion Hotel employee Jesse Chavez. Now, Chavez was aiding a pregnant co-worker who Weems was robbing at gunpoint. 2 other men believed to be the getaway driver and lookout are charged with the same offenses and set to stand trial this fall. Now, Weems faces up to 60 years in prison plus life when he's sentenced on October 30th.
very happy with this conviction. Mr. Weems is someone who not only put a gun to the face of the hotel worker behind the desk, but also to her stomach while she was 5 months pregnant. This is someone who clearly has no regard for human life whatsoever, as he cold-bloodedly killed Mr. Chavez when he tried to stop him from leaving the hotel. So in theory, he put not only the lives of Mr. Chavez and the desk worker and everyone in the hotel at risk, but also of an unborn child. So someone who clearly has no regard for human life, and we're glad that we have removed him from our community.
And once again, Weems faces up to life plus 60 years behind bars when he's sentenced next month.
2 people are dead and 2 others injured after a crash Wednesday night in Brandywine. Police say a silver Volvo sedan was driving around Route 5 when it was struck by a Chrysler Pacifica traveling northbound. Authorities say the force of the crash pushed the Volvo into a wooded area just off of Earnshaw Drive. The 2 passengers, 60-year-old Lawrence Jarvis Jr. and 53-year-old Wanda Fontroy, were pronounced dead at the scene. The driver and the passenger in the Chrysler were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Byron Scott.